Welcome back to my channel. If you are new to this space, I say you are also highly welcome. In this channel, we simplify anatomy, and here we also learn anatomy with so much fun. In this lecture, we'll be focusing on the triceps brachii muscle. If you use this image by the side, this is where we have the triceps brachii muscle. This muscle is a three-headed muscle that is located at the posterior region of the arm. In this lecture, we'll be highlighting the different heads of this muscle and also the different points where they originate from, their final insertion site. We'll also be adding or including some important details that you should know as students of anatomy. The triceps brachii muscle is located at the posterior region of the arm. It is structurally the only muscle that is located around the space. If you go back to our lecture on the muscles of the arm, in that lecture we described that some tests may include the anconeus as part of the muscles that are located in the posterior region of the arm. We know that the anconeus, even though it is located around the posterior region of the arm, it is seen to be located around the region of the elbow joint. And this is why some tests may not include it as part of the muscles that are seen in the posterior region of the arm. So structurally, the muscle that is seen at the posterior region of the arm is the triceps brachii muscle. And this is because this muscle is taking the chunk of this space. Using this image by the side, this is where we have the triceps brachii, where this arrow is pointing. Don't forget that this muscle is a three-headed muscle, and this is why it is so referred to as triceps brachii. Two of these heads are seen to originate from specific regions of the humerus, and these are the two heads that originate from the humerus. These are seen to originate from different specific points of the humerus, and this includes the medial and the lateral heads. While the long head is seen to originate from the scapula, and this is what is harrowed there also in blue. After their emergence from their different points from the humerus and the scapula, they are seen to descend downwards, where they finally unite to have a common tendon that will be finally inserted on the olecranon process of the ulna. And this is what is harrowed at this inferior region. So we see that two of these heads will emerge from the humerus, while the last head will emerge from the scapula. It is also important that we highlight that if you consider how the different heads emerge and where they finally insert upon, you see that they are seen to be crossing over two joints. Superiorly, they are seen to be crossing over the shoulder joint, and this is specifically the long head of the triceps brachii. Don't forget that we already highlighted that the long head of the triceps brachii is seen to originate from a specific region of the scapula, and this is where the scapula is located. And if it does originate from this point, it means it will be crossing over the shoulder joint. And inferiorly here, the triceps brachii muscle is also seen to cross over the elbow joint, and this is at the point where the common tendon of these heads are finally inserted on the olecranon process. We know that the olecranon process is seen at the superior region of the ulna, seen in the forearm region. And due to this pattern of insertion, it is seen to also cross over the elbow joint. So you see that this muscle will definitely be having impact on these two joints. And we'll be highlighting more on this when we get to the region where we'll be describing the actions of this muscle. Now let's drive further to highlight the different heads of the triceps brachii. Don't forget that this muscle is made up of three heads. It is seen to have a medial head. The medial head of the triceps brachii is embedded deep, and this is why it is not seen in this image. And this is why it is also harrowed in dotted red. So it is seen to be embedded deep to what is projected here on this surface. Then we have a lateral head, and this is the lateral head that is harrowed here in green, which is seen to be superficially placed. It means that the lateral head will need to be removed before we can see the medial head. This is what this represents. Then the last head is the long head, which is actually long, and this is what is harrowed here in yellow. If you look at the long head, you see that it is longer, and this is what is harrowed here at this point. And we know that these three heads will finally descend inferiorly, where they will come together to form a common tendon at this point and finally be inserted on the olecranon process of the ulna. We already also highlighted this in our previous slide. Now I'll be going into the details of the different specific points where the heads of the triceps brachii muscle originates. So let's try and use this slide to illustrate this. First, let's go to the medial head. The medial head, we say that it is embedded deep to the other heads of the triceps brachii muscle. In highlighting the specific region where the medial head emerges from, it is important that we highlight the radial groove. If you remember our lecture on the humerus, if you've not checked up that lecture, please kindly go and do so. We said that the posterior surface of the humerus will have a spiral groove that is referred to as the radial groove. This is what is seen to be highlighted here in dotted yellow. If you try to imagine this indentation around the posterior surface of the humerus, this is what we refer to as the radial groove that is seen to accommodate the radial nerve. We describe this in details in our lecture on the humerus. So if you look at this groove, we see that the medial head of the triceps brachii muscle is seen to originate around the inferior region of the radial groove. So it is seen to emerge around this region that is harrowed here in black. So it is seen to be located deep to the lateral and also the long head, while the lateral head is seen to emerge around the upper part of the radial groove. And this is what is arrowed here in blue. Considering the pattern by which the medial and the lateral heads emerge, you see that the medial head will be emerging at the inferior part or region of the radial groove, while the lateral head will be emerging at the upper region of the radial groove. And if you look at this lateral head, you see that they also extend to the surgical neck of the humerus at this upper region. So after their fibers are seen to emerge from the superior, the upper part of the radial groove, some of the fibers are also seen to emerge from the surgical neck of the humerus. And this is what we then put the lateral head to be overlying on the medial head. So we need to remove the lateral head of the triceps brachii muscle before we can be able to see the medial head. Then going to the long head, which is the third head of the triceps brachii, this is what is harrowed here in red. This long head is seen to originate from the infraglenoid tubercle of the scapula, and this is also seen to put this muscle to be positioned superficially. So out of all the three heads, the medial head is seen to be lying deep, while the lateral head and the long heads are seen to be placed superficially. If you try to use this image at this lower side to further illustrate how the long head originates, this is where we have the scapula. Don't forget that at the lateral border of the scapula, we have the glenoid fossa or the glenoid cavity. This fossa is seen as an indentation that receives the head of the humerus in the creation of the shoulder joint or the glenohumeral joint. And this is what is projected here. If you then drive deep into the superior and the inferior region of this indentation that we refer to as the glenoid fossa, we have tubercles. These tubercles are referred to as the supraglenoid tubercle and an infraglenoid tubercle. And they are so referred to as these based on their position. The supraglenoid tubercle is a tubercle that is located above the glenoid fossa. And this is why it is so named supraglenoid. While the infraglenoid tubercle is a tubercle that is located around the inferior region of the glenoid fossa. And this is why it is so referred to as infraglenoid tubercle, which means below. So this is what is highlighted here in yellow. So it is from this infraglenoid tubercle that the long head of the triceps brachii that is highlighted here in red originates from. So this is the specific region here of the scapula that this head emerges from. Don't forget that the supraglenoid tubercle also gives the origination site for a muscle in the arm region, specifically the long head of the biceps brachii. So after the emergence of the different heads, which include the medial, the lateral, and the long heads, they are finally seen to unite to form a common tendon at this point that is harrowed here in green. And this common tendon is then finally seen to insert on the olecranon process of the ulna. The triceps brachii muscle is seen to be supplied by the superior ulnar collateral artery, also the deep brachial arteries, emergence from the brachial artery, and they are seen to be innervated by the radial nerve. It is important that we had that the triceps brachii muscle, specifically the long head of the triceps brachii muscle, is seen to be forming spaces with the neighboring muscles and the humerus. This is basically to create the passageway for vessels and also nerves. And we'll also be highlighting this in details. If you try to use this image by the side, you see that this is where we have the long head of the triceps brachii muscle, first establishing that this is where we have the medial side and this is where we have the lateral side. Now let's look at the neighboring muscles. This is the teres major muscle. Then if you go more superiorly above here, we have the teres minor muscle. And this is where we have the humerus. So if you look at these two muscles and also the humerus and the relationship that they have also with the long head, they are creating spaces. And these spaces, we say that they are created for the passage of nerves and also vessels. So if you look at the orientation, you see that we have a quadrangular space here that is highlighted in blue. This quadrangular space is a four-sided space that is created for the passage of vessels. But before we dive into the vessels that are seen to run through this space, it is important that we highlight the borders. If you look at the superior border here, also arrayed in blue, you see that it is formed by the teres minor muscle, while the inferior border here is formed by the teres major muscle. If you go more laterally, we have the humerus. Specifically, it is the surgical neck of the humerus that is seen to border the lateral region or limit of the quadrangular space, while medially is where we have the long head of the triceps brachii muscle. So you see this space created around this region and also bordered by the different structures that we have highlighted. It is seen to be creating the passageway for the axillary nerve. We know that the axillary nerve is an emergence from the brachial plexus and also the posterior circumflex humeral artery, which is an emergence from the axillary artery. So you see that these two vessels, the posterior circumflex humeral artery and vein, are also seen to be passing through this quadrangular space. So you see that this space is not created for fun or for fancy, but it is created for the allowance of passage of vessels and also nerves. Then the next space that we have is the lower triangular space, and this is what is carved out here in green. This lower triangular space can also be referred to as a triangular interval. This space is seen to be triangular in shape, which means it will be bordered by three structures. So if you look at the superior region here, you see that it is bordered by the teres major, while laterally here, you see that it is bordered by the humerus. So if you drive deep to the lateral border, you see that the humerus is seen to be forming its lateral limit. Then if you go more medially, you see that it is bordered by the long head of the triceps brachii muscle. So you see that the triceps brachii muscle, specifically the long head, is also contributing to the formation of the triangular interval. And this is seen to allow for the passage of the radial nerve, which is also an emergence of the brachial plexus, and also the profunda brachial artery, which is a deep brachial branch that also emerges from the brachial artery. So you see that this is also a space that is created for a passage of nerve and also artery. Then going to the next space, which is the upper triangular space, and this is what is carved out here in yellow. If you look at this space, you see that it is indeed upper and it is of course triangular in shape. This is also a three-sided space that is bordered by also three structures because it is triangular in shape. So if you look at the upper border, it is bordered by the teres minor muscle, while the inferior border is by the teres major, while laterally it is seen to be bordered by the long head of the triceps brachii. So you see that the long head of the triceps brachii is also contributing to the formation of the space. And this is also not created for fun. It is also created for the allowance of the circumflex scapular artery, which is an emergence from the subscapular artery, which emerges from the axillary artery. So you see that these spaces are three in number and they are formed by different muscles that are located around the long head of the triceps brachii. And it is important that we highlight this and also the different vessels that are passing through them. So now let's go to the actions of this muscle. So using this image by the side, this is where we have the lateral head and this is where we have the long head. Don't forget that the medial head we say is embedded deep because of the pattern by which it originates. So you see that this triceps brachii, specifically the long head of the triceps brachii, is seen to originate from the infraglenoid tubercle of the scapula. And this is why it is able to cross over the shoulder joint. And inferiorly, the three eggs will unite to form a common tendon where they are finally inserted on the olecranon process. And this is why they are also seen to be crossing over the elbow joint. And because the triceps brachii crosses over the shoulder and the elbow joint, they are seen to exert effect on these two joints. We've already highlighted in our previous lecture on the muscles of the arm that muscles that are seen to be crossing over specific joints will be exerting effects on them. So for the elbow joint, it is seen to be exerting extension over the elbow joint. When in the shoulder joint, it is also seen to exert extension over the shoulder joint. But specifically, it is the long head that will be exerting this effect. In contribution to the shoulder joint, we also have adduction. Thanks for watching this video. Let's continue to stay glued to my channel.